6 months ago, I finally moved to Canada, having prayed and waited for such a time as this. But then, within my first few weeks, I made a financial mistake that cost me over $2,300. And you know the worst part? I actually did not even realize that there were better options. But it wasn't all bad. That's because within this first 6 months of living in Canada, I have had some of my biggest personal, professional, and financial wins, building a completely new life that I truly feel fulfilled and happy about. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my story, my journey, navigating life in Canada. I'm going to be sharing the wins, the mistakes, the lesson learned, and the things I wish I knew earlier. Now, for the purpose of this video, I know that I have a lot of things to say and I don't want to forget some of the things. So I'm going to structure this video starting with the mistakes, my wins, the lessons, and we'll end it there. Now, for the mistakes, let's start with my biggest mistake my family and I made when we moved to Ontario, Canada, and that is rent. We didn't really know a lot of people living here, so we did try to check on Facebook, WhatsApp, or even connecting with the church people to tell us, okay, we're trying to move to this place, what do we need to know? And all the information they gave to us was just not enough to help us avoid the cost. So we ended up signing a lease that cost us $2,300. In Finland, you could actually end your lease if you give them 2 months advance notice saying that you found the place or your life situation have changed. But we realized that in Canada, when you sign a contract for the first time, you have to live in that place for 1 year. After paying the lease and all that, we realized that they were better and even more affordable options. Looking back, we would have perhaps stayed longer in an Airbnb and perhaps pay exactly the amount we would have been paying here. But then it would have helped us to avoid the base rent of $2,300. So I'm not talking about utilities and every other additional cost that come with it. Lesson we learned from renting a house is that when you come to Canada or even a new country, first financial decision matter a lot. It's imperative that you don't rush it even when it feels urgent. Take your time and understand the options. Number 2 mistake is not understanding how the system works early. And this is because of building a credit score. When we were living in Finland, it wasn't a credit dependent system. So we did not really pay attention into increasing credit score and all that. So we came here and we knew that there was a credit card and all that. So we were like, yes, we were going to use it to buy our groceries and all that because you're getting a 3% cash back. We saw the money increasing, but we did not realize that for you to have a very good credit score, you need to keep your utilization under 30%. That was something we realized very fast. I had made my research even before coming to Canada, and I knew that I was going to use the online bank. I wasn't going to go to the big names and all that. But we came here, and for some reason, I did not follow through. I didn't take the action. We had gone and opened a bank account with RBC, and then we were transferring money from Finland to the Canadian account, and we realized that they were charging us just to receive our money. And I was like, and this is over $100 in one transfer. And I was like, what is happening? You should actually be paying us. Now, I am very grateful that I avoided the part of paying monthly fees. That's because when you come in newly, there is this Newcomers package that banks will give to you that you don't have to pay any monthly fee during the first year you live in Canada. So at least that was avoided. But if I had just stayed longer with the RBC and all that, that would mean that every month the bank was going to take money from my account just to open an account or to bank with them. So that is already corrected because I have finally taken the action. I haven't lost money. I just went and opened my Tangerine account and my Wealth Simple and my EQ Bank. If you want to know the bank I use and all the links, I'm going to leave that in the description. And honestly, the next one is something that most newcomers don't realize until it's too late. And that is untracked spending. Oh my goodness. So we came in quite rich in our mind with a lot of money to spend and all that. So we would go for shopping, not really checking the price, not really comparing, should we shop at Walmart, should we shop at Superstore? And that's because everything is new when you come to Canada. So from grocery shopping to the transportation, buying a car, everyday spending. What we realized is that money was just leaving the account in a very high speed. That's because I wasn't really tracking properly. Even if I was very cautious about, okay, do we need to buy this? Is this a need? Is this a want? That is where I brought back my personal finance minimalist intentional hat and put on, and I have made a budget that we have been using since then to track our expenses so that we have enough money to buy what we need, have enough money to save for the now and also for the future, and of course just have peace of mind. If you want to have my budgeting template free, I'm going to leave that in the description. Now, this is my favorite part. Let's go over to the wins for the first 6 months living in Canada. Number one is landing a beautiful, strong role in my nursing profession. If you know me very well, I have been a nurse since I graduated high school. So over 13 years, I have been practicing. I've done different healthcare setting profession. I've done my bachelor's, I've done my master's. I have license to practice in Finland, in Nigeria, US, and now in Canada. By the way, I have a second channel. If you are a nurse and you want to follow my journey, it's Miss Rosaline. I'm going to comment as Miss Rosaline down there and you can follow the channel. But one of the things that I was praying to God is that I'm done, I'm tired of bedside nursing. So I intentionally took some courses to get into the nursing education and nursing management. And by God's grace, Canada has given me that option. And guess what? I'm not working as a project manager. I am actually leading my own program, and this is something that I am eternally grateful for to God using Canada to give me this option to say that the dreams, the desires you have, they are actually attainable. Now, another big win is building a community that I feel that yes, I matter, I value, and I can really trust and have honest conversation. That for a long time was really missing, apart from the friends I had in Finland, like really having people that are not really your very close-knit friends, but you have a community that if someone is going to buy something, they remember, oh, Rosalie may need this, or for the kids, do you want to send your kids to this place? We have a meeting where we may meet, and they actually remember your name, and they're like, you know what, you're part of the Black community, you're part of women, you're part of this, and your voice matter. That's the community that Canada has given to me. And finding good friends and community, it's more than any financial win you can ever have. That's because the people you have around you influence your decisions, your mindset, and the opportunities you may have around you. The other win I'm grateful for is finally setting up my banking system or for the family properly. And that itself is a game changer. I was able to open the right accounts with the Wealth Simple, where we have the TFSA, the emergency for the checking account, we have the RSP, we have the FHSA. If you don't know about that, I've actually made videos about it, and it's actually in the playlist called Living in Canada series. I was able to open the right account, opening the Tangerine account, where I got the $250 just by transferring my paycheck to the account. Seriously, these are perks just by opening the right account. The bank pays you and not the other way round of you giving your money to the bank. If you want to use my code to open any of these accounts, they are all in the description box. The other win I'm super grateful for is building my credit score, and this is very important for me. That's because, of course, this is now, Canada is now home, and we intend to go into business, we intend to have a home. These things, these decisions revolve around having a good credit score. So we have been able to get on track with building a very good credit score. And that is why I've made a video about it, how to build it fast, because just by making the decision, being intentional, have just really changed our credit score into a very high score. For my fifth win is having a place that actually feels like home, that you can walk on the street and know that you are human, that other people see you as human, as brilliant, and the work you put in from my work and what I'm doing, talking with stakeholders, liaising with community partners, they understand, they applaud your brilliance, appreciate you as a human. That is what was missing in my life in Finland, that sometimes you feel like, why am I in this place, or am I going to be called by social worker? Like, there was a lot of hazy no sense of belonging where we were. So this is one of the things I'm so grateful for, that my kids can actually go out and make genuine friends, and network with others, have that feeling of this is a playing ground that everyone can thrive, and it is a fair play, that if you're intelligent, you're ambitious, the system is actually going to reward you. And that itself is something that I would never take for granted here in Canada. What are the lessons and what would I do differently? If I were starting over again, moving to Canada, I would have done more research into the housing, so that really the 2,300, which is the base rent, is not the utility added and all that, like really base rent. I would have really taken my time to do more of the research. I would have tried to understand the financial system earlier, especially when it comes to the credit score. And yes, I also would have been able to avoid unnecessary costs that went with the not tracking my expenses, because that actually cost us a lot when it came to buying winter things for the kids. We realized that we had spent over $200, when if we had gone to this thrift store, we would have just bought it for only $5. Moving to Canada isn't just about surviving, it is about thriving and positioning yourself financially, because these small decisions actually compound to bring a greater impact in your future. So if you're navigating life in Canada, I share videos like this to help you make smarter financial decisions. One of the things I do here is to tell you that you don't have to have an MBA or be an accountant for you to make smart financial decisions. You can actually be in control of your finances. You only have to have the information, apply it, and be intentional. As long as you're consistent, you'll be so happy to create the wealth you're deserving of. So it is your turn. Comment below. What are the wins? What are the lessons? What are the things that you wish you knew moving to Canada? If you've lived in Canada for a long time, please share it out. What are the biggest mistakes or challenges you faced moving to Canada, or actually living in Canada? And if you are planning on moving to Canada, what are you most worried about? That could actually inspire the next video. 6 months in, I'm actually getting started.